So hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's the first Saturday in August and I'm just nipping out for a last minute wild camp again, and I'm in the Trossachs. You'll no doubt recognise some of this when I get further up. Just going for something simple, not too high, and I really don't have anything new gear wise to test this time around. I was given the Duotts X1 exoskeleton, basically e-legs. I'll do a dedicated video on that in the next one. I can't use them today unfortunately because this pack is so big. The waistband would clash with the waist belt of the e-legs, so I had to put them aside just now, but I had fun using them yesterday, but I'll tell you more about that. Nice. Opening up now. It's 20 degrees, it's a really nice day today, but the weather is due to change tonight and go fairly heavy rain, in fact very heavy rain overnight. And in a way this might just become the theme of the camp, because I wanted to test a single skin assault tent in summer backpacking conditions in Scotland and just see if you can use it and it works okay, or whether it will be both a overheating disaster and a leaking disaster and possibly a condensation disaster, depending on how the fabric on this one works. So it'll be a good test. A lot of people are very against kind of single skin assault tents, or the feedback I get is that they ain't popular, not in Scotland, but I do like them. I think they've got a lot of strength and a lot of space for the weight. So just ahead of me I think is the point where we head off the kind of beaten track, and then it becomes more of just a hill walking muddy path. So I'll dig out my walking poles now I think. So in case you haven't realised where I am already, that's Aberfoyle, the town or the village below me here. And you're kind of looking, I think southeast maybe. That little lump there is Dumgoyne. See if we can zoom in for you. That's Dumgoyne in the middle there, which is kind of one end of the Campsies, and then the highest part of the Campsies is further back here, which I think is called, what is it? Is it Errol Seat, I think. If I'm wrong I'll stick that on screen. But as we climb we should get some views all around, looking in all directions, and that's partly my choice because I want to keep the wind going if I can. From here on in it looks like it could be a real tick fest as well. Look at those ferns, and I made the mistake of rolling my trousers up. Well, it's good to see Scotland so busy this year. I mean, well, it's busy most years, but I think this year a lot of the hoteliers and people I've spoken to in hospitality seem like it's been a really busy one. But oh yeah, it's good to get away from the crowds down there. All day trippers and it's absolutely crazy. It's not my thing, but if you're new to Scotland, why not? You'd love it. Just get these set up for this wee climb now. Probably about another half an hour or so to the top I think. I was actually here quite a long time ago. You may, if you followed my channel for a number of years, I think the last time I was up here was in, I always go by the tents I had at the time, a Farino Solo mountain tent I think was the one I had, and it was kind of wintry, sleety, snowy, chilly nights. So I don't think I've been up here in the height of summer, and certainly not in a winter tent. So maybe a big mistake. That's the Dave Marshall Lodge down there, the David Marshall Lodge, which I think is Forestry Commission. I hope I'm right. Anyway, there's some really nice forest walks in there, and there's also a Go Ape Centre, aerial zip, which I can actually hear running. In fact, I think you can see it on your screen, somebody heading down. Just behind that bush, there they go. I'm doing my best to try and avoid touching these ferns as I go through, but it ain't easy. Nice slab this. It reminds me of one of the mountain bike tracks in southern Scotland. Still weather's holding nicely at the moment. No real signs of the rain front yet. Wind's still nice and breezy, so not been bitten yet, but I just spoke to a couple who said they get covered in flying ants down at the bench that I was just in that last clip. Looks like the tops of the Munros further up there are just capping with cloud now. I'm not sure if they were clear earlier on. On the way up I think they were. So I suspect that cloud base has come in a wee bit, which is really why I wanted to go for half that height as well, just to try and give you, myself and you guys, some views. There's a couple of false summits, so I think we have to get over here and then over again, and then we should hit the actual summit. Not a single water source have I passed since the car, and look at that down there. Home for the night. Sweaty, but 50 minutes including filming to here, which is alright. It's a great wee easy hill walk for anyone that's starting out. It's also a great place for a wild camp if you're starting out, and I would certainly recommend it because of the 360 views from the Arrochar Alps and looking further north and then south towards the kind of flatter land of Glasgow and Stirling and to the east. Tonight's shelter, the Big Agnes Shield 2. Dead simple, 3 poles, 2 crossovers and 1 short one at the front. So actually I quite like the views this way, but the trouble is that's straight into wind, so with my door open and for cooking and for the expected rain, I'm just going to get hammered right at the door. So I think unfortunately I can either go crosswindy facing north or set the door facing east, which is a more rolling kind of view. Not the nicest, but probably the best from the practicalities of camping and cooking. Look at the size of the pegs on this thing, winter pegs. So they can almost be designed like snow stakes, so you can put them in sideways and guy lines around it that way and bury it, or just use them in the traditional way, but they're pretty chunky. And I've added just 2 extra tri-pegs, tri-section. They're purely for the side pull-outs, but it only comes with these big ones. Yeah, that's definitely on a slope. I think I need to possibly go over here. Camp position B, going with it. Strangely, there's 3 weird holes, one behind the tent, one just there, another one there, and they're really deep. So if there's any animals in there, the 2 of us are going to have a nice conversation tonight. Right, let's get inside, get decanted. So we're rocking the Light Tour winter mat again tonight. Lovely and comfortable, bounces back the heat really nicely, and it's cheap as chips. I'll put a link below in case you're interested. You can get it on Camperless website, and I really do rate them. I've got 2 now, Jan and I use them both, and we've dumped all our other brands apart from the Nortent Torv 7, which is also excellent, but just that bit heavier, so I didn't want to bring it today. I was just trying to save a wee bit of weight where I could. Suspect we might need this tonight. If that wind dies, I'm in trouble. It's now 7:30. The wind was okay. I had a nice dinner outside, that was fine. The wind just died about 5 minutes ago, and the midges, even with jungle formula on, were horrendous. So I've had to come in here. I'm keeping my clips short at the moment as well because I've also forgotten my power bank and I'm running out of phone battery, and it's the only thing I've got to film on other than the drone. So I'll keep bringing you back if there's anything significant. But for the moment, I'm chilling out in here with about 100 midges, if not more, but there's thousands out there. So, how would I describe the situation at the moment? I'm very warm in here. There's not an awful lot of air coming through the vents now because there's very little wind. The only thing I would say about this assault tent is these vents have got midgie covers. Well, it's for spindrift. It's an overlap, so you can get a rope or so you can attach a rope or a belay to your harness. And it does just stop the midges getting in, thankfully. There was quite a lot in here, but they're not biting me in here. They're just kind of sticking to the roof. So, yeah, and I'm also keeping myself sane with some wine and listen to Radio 4. There's so many midges out there banging against the fly sheet, it sounds like light rain. I thought the rain had come on early, but no, it's just insects. So I'm scared to go out. Oof, glad to be out of the tent. I got stir crazy in there with those midges. It's no different from any other tent so far, so I wouldn't say that's necessarily any problem with an assault tent. Just a wee bit stuffy because there wasn't an awful lot of wind, but it's a really warm night. And the bugs weren't getting in because luckily I've got a mesh vent at the front, two above me, so that's okay. You can see this rain that's coming in over to the west. This is west. That's Ben Lomond, which is now quite well covered. And Loch Ard's down below you there, really nice little area for paddling. If you don't know it, try it, it's really good. I'm just heading over here to look at, there's a wee cliff edge. I was thinking of maybe going down to there. That's you looking back towards Dumgoyne and the Campsies. Right through to the east, you can actually see as far as Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh. And I think you can actually see the Forth Road bridges, the new one. You can see the suspension, hopefully, the arches on it, which is pretty amazing actually. That's just how far you can see. And that also, that little hill there, the dark lumps, the two lumps, that's where I was with RS Outdoors. That's Demayet Hill. I don't know if you remember that video, but I'll put a link on the screen above. Anyway, it's nice to be out. I am really struggling on battery though, guys, so I'm really sorry. It's a wee bit sporadic, the filming. I'm just trying to save the last 30% of the phone, hoping that we'll get enough done tonight and tomorrow morning. So I apologise now. Anyway, I'm going to head down to these woods here and just see there's a nice cliff edge there. Just see if there's a potential wild camp spot for the future. But you've got to be really careful when you go off the track here because there are, for the best description, probably crevasses. There's a lot of big cracks and really deep holes that you could break an ankle or swallow you. So I'll need to be careful when I go down here. I've just realised I can actually see my own car parked away down there. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. There you go. And just while I'm looking at it there, that's Miko Bin, which was the other one I was thinking about doing today. Never done that one, never camped on it. But it's got a really nice prominent peak and seems to be higher than most of the other wee hills around it. Just to put you in the picture, that's Ben Venu, which I've also camped on the top of, one of the higher ones in the Trossachs. And then in the gloom there, you can't see it, but there's a little pointy peak called Ben Ann, which you've probably seen in my videos quite a few times as well. And then disappearing into the cloud now over here is Ben Leddy, which I spent with Redman Walking G. The two of us spent a recent wild camp up there, which was really hot and also extremely busy. And I can't remember the name of the wee hill over here, but I also spent a night on there in the Sky Solus 2P. And I'm thinking this looks quite a nice wee perch here as well, maybe. Just an easy walk up and maybe stay there a night. So many little places that are worth just exploring. Yeah, it's beginning to dump now. I think we better get everything inside that wee tent. So the tent passes the wind test. Does it pass the rain test? That's what's coming next. So I'm getting in. I can see a wall of rain coming. I'm getting out under cover and get comfortable. Yeah, a bit of a headwind coming off this squall that I can see coming. Wind's picked up nicely. It's cleared all the midges out of the tent, which is fantastic. And yeah, tent's getting a bit of a buffeting, but it feels very secure, so passes on that. If this rains really heavily, this is going to be a real good test to see if it leaks and or it doesn't breathe with water on the outside, but at the moment it is bone dry. Right, that's the bed set up for the night. We have got the Light Tour winter mat, I think as I mentioned before, the Decathlon MT900 down bag and a wee Trekology pillow. And it's all tidied up inside, so we're looking okay. I'm going to head to my bed now. It's just after 10. The next heavy rain is forecast in about the next hour, but we should get some fairly persistent rain through the night and we will see whether this leaks or is a condensation fest. Right everybody, I am safely tucked up, having pulled 3 ticks out of my body. 2 big ones, 1 small one. They're horrendous, so if you're out camping, keep an eye on your body yourself as well, because you don't want Lyme disease. So barring any disasters, I'll catch you in the morning. We'll find out how this wee single skin tent fares in the overnight heavy rain, and if it fails badly, I'll come back to you in the morning and I'll be in the car. Good morning everybody. The wind just died and the midges are voracious, so we're going to go for a quick coffee and a wee pan of chocolate, and then we're out of here pronto if this wind doesn't come back. Scottish summer camping at its best. Okay everybody, a big apology for the lack of battery power last night, so I didn't do as much to camera as I would like to have done. Just to mention the tent, can you use a kind of single skin assault tent for summer backpacking in Scotland? Based on last night, mixed weather, a lot of midges, a lot of rain, a lot of wind, then no wind and a lot of condensation in theory and dampness. I'll tell you what, that Big Agnes Shield 2 worked really well. Not a single leak. The fabric was dry to the touch this morning, despite it going very still for quite a long time and me breathing and snoring and sleeping all night. Very impressed with that fabric. I think it's called Domenico fabric. But anyway, yeah, I found it worked really, really well. I really like the front door in that tent because you can sit and watch and weather watch. I was lucky with the cooking because the rain went off, and you might say, well, what if you hadn't? Well, if the worst case scenario, I would have cooked inside, but I probably would have brought a wee metal table just to stabilise the stove and just kept all the vents at the door open. Because the door is so steep at the front, you don't get the same water pouring in that you do get in some other dome tents, which get much steeper angles at the door. But yeah, I'd thoroughly recommend that. You could absolutely use one of these things all year round, not a problem. It was pretty stable in the wind. It wobbled a bit like a slight jelly. And at the end of the day, if you want the ultimate tent, in my mind at the moment, for strength and stability, get a Stormstar, QU Stormstar. Yes, it's a wee bit heavy, it's 800 grams more than the Shield 2, but it takes two people properly. It's got two vestibules. And honestly, it's like being in a Faraday cage rather than a tent. It's just so strong and so quiet. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now. Thanks again for watching, everybody. If you haven't liked or subscribed to the channel, if you'd give me a wee sub, that'd be brilliant. That really helps. And if you're already a subscriber, many thanks. And give us a wee like if you don't mind. It just helps the algorithm push the video up a wee bit. So I'll see you out there for the next one. I'm away to the Alps for a week, so I'll not see you for a wee while, but I'll probably just post some Instagram stuff if you fancy any wee looks at the French Alps. So, see you soon. Cheers just now.